Let me in my zone. Let me in my zone. Please don't let me in.
Yeah. Gon' play that. Take you down, I'ma say that. Mine need me a couple dollars. Telling you now this payback. So I'll take that. Ask him now what sage that.
Well, hello. You're very welcome to the iconic York Hall here in Bethnal Green. It's a venue that, of course, has been, well, something of a rite of passage for many boxers. The great and the good, they've all performed here. And what a stage it is for this stage of our Fight Zone journey. All the action tonight within these very tight four walls at what is just a brilliant venue for boxing. It is unique. Of course, York Hall. And what a fight card we have for you here as well in the East End of London. Well, firstly, and this is free and available for everybody, and if you're watching on SecondsOut.com, you're very welcome as well. We start the show with John Mccallum in action against Lewis van Poche. Slavica Gagic makes a debut tonight against Matar, Sambou, and Dean Jones and Fuad Hussain are in featherweight action as well for our three bouts before the main card.
The Brawl in the Hall, brought to you in working partnership of Warren Boxing Management and Priority Boxing, sponsored by Ringside. This show is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. The stewards in charge, Richard Barber, Ben Harmsworth, Mickey Collier. The inspectors, Ben Frost and John Camp. Our first bout of the evening is scheduled for 4 rounds of boxing in the cruiserweight division. And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, Lewis Poche van Poche. Making his way to the ring, his opponent, John the Mighty Mccallum. Waiting for the ref. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled 4 rounds of boxing in the cruiserweight division. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. The stewards in charge, Richard Barber, Ben Harmsworth, and Mickey Collier. The inspectors, Ben Frost and John Camp. Timekeeper at the bell, Brett Bowles. And the third man inside the ring in charge of the action, Chas Coakley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing the white with green trim. His official weight of 183 pounds and 4 ounces. His professional record of 138 bouts, 2 draws, 9 wins, and 2 of those wins coming in by way of knockout. Hailing from Lydney, United Kingdom, Lewis Poche Van Poel. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the white with gold writing. His official weight of 199 pounds. His official record of 14 fights, 12 wins. The 7 times national champion. The 2 times master champion. John the Mighty Mccallum.
Well, the referee giving his final instructions now. We get this very special card here at the York Hall underway. The very familiar figure of Lewis Van Poche, wearing the white shorts with green band, against John Mccallum, now based Virginia Water, originally from Edinburgh, wearing the all-white shorts. This cruiserweight contest scheduled for 4 rounds as Mccallum goes to work early on, and as ever, delighted to have alongside me the former IBF cruiserweight champion of the world, voice of boxing, Mr. Glenn McCrory.
Good to be here, Dom. Very iconic venue indeed, the York Hall in Bethnal Green. We spent many a night here. Some great fights and some great fighters, and it's really good to be back.
Well, referee having a word about low blows already in the opening round here. Some of the dark arts from both men have been on display. But Van Poche was in action in Hamilton last week against Ben McGiven on McGiven's debut. Again, he's got his kit bag, he's always ready for action. No problem to him to step in against John Mccallum, of course. This is 15th bout. Very, very seasoned amateur who, like many, has had a bit of a stop-start professional career. Of course, the pandemic has really halted things for everybody, but he did stay busy last year. That's a big left hand that lands on Van Poche there, but went over to Russia to fight Evgeny Tishenko. A body shot did for him that, but he took the chance, stayed busy. He's heavy-handed, as he's shown in this opening round.
Well, he was a very good amateur, and he's got to be in a little bit of a hurry now in his career. He's 33, Mccallum. So I'm sure he wants to be active as he possibly can be.
Good hook to head now, good straight 1-2. Lewis Van Poche, who, well, takes to a professional ring for the 139th time. You'd think he'd be the most experienced man on the card tonight, but he isn't. We've got Kevin McCauley that we'll be seeing later on, who's a double centurion.
Well, he's got off to a good start. Mccallum letting his punches go. Good work with the jab and then switching it from head to body. Looks pretty relaxed in there. Van Poche trying with a big right hand.
Well, a good opening round and a good opportunity for us to bring in another former world champion. Anthony $1 Million Crawler, York call, and not for the first time, Anthony.
No, good to be here, boys. It's very, we always say it, the most iconic place in British boxing, I think, in a lot of people's opinion. However, yeah, happy to be here. Good first round from John Mccallum. Whip to the body there. I know he got pulled up for low blows, but he switched the attack very well there. I think John Mccallum, the talent, technically very good. You can see he was a good amateur. So we'd like to see him a little bit lighter than what he's weighed in tonight. But there's no denying he's got talent, but I think it was mentioned by one of you boys, was you, Glenn. Now he's got to look now, he's got to look to start making a move, you know, on the domestic scene. But no, he's definitely a lot to like about him.
Well, Charlie Oliver in the corner there for John Mccallum. Comes from a real boxing family. His uncle Tommy, Scottish champion. And his uncle Tommy, Glenn McCrory, boxed the likes of Gary Stretch. He lost to, well, top talent in the shape of Stretch, Gary Jacobs, Lloyd Honeyghan, Clinton McKenzie.
Yes, I remember his uncle back in the day. Good fighter. So he's got boxing in the blood. Very, very good amateur, John Mccallum.
Oh, lands a big left hand on the side of Van Poche's face there. And he does carry some power, but as Anthony alluded to, you know, he has operated obviously in lower divisions. Super middleweight, you'd probably say, is where he would naturally be at this point.
He does say that he feels better at a heavier weight. He said when he was cutting weight in the gym and getting down to super middleweight, you know, he didn't feel that he had the snap or the power, where at the heavier weight he does.
Well, he just got caught by a great left hand from Van Poche, just knocked the head back. And again, as we say it all the time, but you know, seasoned fighters like Lewis Van Poche, or Poche as everybody calls him, he knows what he's doing in there. The record, obviously, 9 wins, 127 defeats, suggests he doesn't have talent, but of course we know he does. We saw it last week as well. Gave McGibbon plenty to think about, and he's done so here tonight for Mccallum.
So he's obviously, you know, he doesn't win many, Van Poche, but you've obviously got talent when you can appear weekend after weekend. You know, has gloves, will travel, will fight, will turn up, and will put on a bit of a show. You know, will try and be competitive. I mean, that's the mark of a fighting man.
Well, Mccallum lets his hands go there. And there's one thing about Poche is that he's durable. He's not been stopped since Lerone Richards, Mr. Hot Cross Buns. He stopped him back in July 2017. So that shows what he's all about, really. And it is a statement for any fighter to get him out of there. That's what Mccallum will try and do.
Well, you know, the statement that fighters make is when they do get these stubborn, tough journeymen, when they can go in and get them out of there. That is all about making the statement. And you know, it's rare and it's difficult, but the good fighters can do that.
Final knockings. The second round. So you have Mccallum 2 rounds up on that, Glenn?
I do, yeah. I mean, Van Poche is always going to try and make it competitive and always going to try and put a bit of a show on, but it's all Mccallum, as you'd expect. Doubling up there, nice left hook to the head, then switching it to the body. And this is an opportunity for Mccallum just to test what he can do and, you know, try some things out. That's what you have these sort of fights for.
It's good to see a venue like this filling up as well. First time boxing's been back since the pandemic, Glenn, so it's excellent to see so many already enjoying the undercard here. Of course, we've got a great main event as well. Lewis Isaacs against Dan Morley. I think you know a thing or two about Lewis Isaacs, Glenn.
I do. I know Lewis very, very well. I haven't trained him for his last few fights, so it'll be interesting to see how he does in his return to the ring.
And as McCallum goes to work on that jab, does great action. As I mentioned, Kevin McCauley, he goes in against Tommy Jacobs later. Harry Mullins takes on Rhys Taylor for the second time. Anis Taj from Watford in against Jay Muele. It's a debut Slavica Gagic that's really anticipated. Real talent, and Fuad Hussain, the Pirate, is in action as well. So lots to look forward to as McCallum again lets the hands go. He's got a few in tonight as well, supporting him.
Van Poetsch smiles at the cameras there, but he had to take a few decent shots there, and you could tell, you know, the way he was looking at they were registering.
Van Poetsch is still doing a lot of the marching forward as well. He isn't the kind of journeyman that was just going to tuck up and cover up. He has to do that now, though, as he's forced against the ropes by McCullum.
No, Van Poetsch is making McCallum fight.
Is that you, Glenn?
No, that wasn't. Thank you very much. No. Decent shots there from McCallum, just anchoring his feet and trying to let some heavy shots go. But Van Poetsch comes back and that's a nice body punch of his own.
Huge overhand right tried to land from Van Poetsch.
Well, he had some success with that last week.
He did.
He?
Yep, Fightzone on the road again. Scotland last week, London this week, Malta next week. It is all happening on Fightzone, your new home of UK boxing. Just $4.99 a month, Glenn.
Cheap at half the price. Don't.
What's that? That's a pint of Newcastle Brown, isn't it? Your part of the world, more or less?
I don't know, Dom. I wouldn't know those sort of things.
Well, it just gets a little bit messy in there. Van Poetsch going to ground. So it's always warm in the York Hall, isn't it? And McCallum just blowing a bit there. It's understandable. And again, as this place fills up, it gets hotter and hotter. But some good action in that round as well. Some good shots from McCallum.
Yeah, McCallum showing his variety in there.
How many times do you reckon you've watched fights here, Glenn, over the years?
At the York Hall, at one point we were here every other week. Absolutely lost count, but I've been coming for an awful long time. It really feels like boxing is back when we are here again. And you know, there was a buzz about an hour before the boxing started. The crowd were coming in.
Well, you should have seen the queue down the road as well. The queue to get in.
Exactly. It's an iconic venue. It's just great that crowds are allowed back.
Well, so many champions have taken to the ring here in this venue. Chatting to you earlier, Glenn, you were here the famous night, probably one of the most famous nights in this arena, when Johnny Tapia came to town.
Very much so. A real character.
Nearly 20 years ago, that.
A long time ago. You keep reminding me of my age for some reason, Dom. I don't know why that is. Somebody just mentioned today, I fought his friend, Barry Ellis, and how long ago was that? It was 37 years ago.
You're looking well on it, Glenn, don't worry about that.
But it's great to be at the York Hall. It's also great to be in the capital, London, on a lovely day, and just to see the crowds out and about and enjoying themselves. After what we've all been through, you know, it's a great relief. Well, as you'd expect, Lewis van Poetsch still in there, still trying to throw shots, letting the left hook go there, and a big overhand right.
Well, it's his favourite shot, no doubt about the big overhand right, and when he does connect, he does carry a bit of power, Lewis van Poetsch, no doubt about it.
Do you know what? But I think over the last couple of times I've seen him, he's grown in a bit of confidence, isn't he? Do you know, I think it's a thing with the journeyman when all of a sudden they realise that, you know what, maybe they can win fights, maybe they can do better.
Well, it's a balance though, isn't it? Always competitive, always in there, always teaching novices when they're in with novices lessons and prospects. Obviously McCallum isn't a novice, so it's a different kind of a night for him tonight, but they tread a fine line, don't they? They can't win too many or the phone stops ringing, so again, just tiredness, I think, as we get to the final 30 seconds of round 4 in this cruiserweight contest.
And Van Poetsch still trying to let his punches go right to the final bell. Decent performance from Lewis van Poetsch.
Well, just scrappy at the very end, but a decent contest, and Van Poetsch, as he always does, he raises his hand, has a bit of a laugh with the crowd. But that's another one in the bag, and he's ready to fight next week again, Lewis van Poetsch. But as far as John McCallum's concerned as well, of course, he did have that fight in Russia back in November of last year, but just good for him to get out again. And as you mentioned before, he's just going to want action now, isn't he? He's going to want to step it up.
He is. I think he's going to want to move forward as quick as he can, and with Fightzone has the platform to do that.
Well, as Van Poetsch plays to the crowd once again, and a little technical glitch with the PA here. But all is good. The referee has now just given the scorecard to our MC tonight. Hussain, I think he is ready, as Van Poetsch does his usual little cartwheel in the ring. Little pat on the back by McCallum.
You've got to be fit to do that.
Yep, you do indeed. Well, our MC is ready now with the result. I think we know which way it's gone, and here he is, Hussain.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee's scorecard. Referee Chaz Coakley scores it 40-36, and your winner, John the Mighty Mccallum.
So McCallum gets the arm raised. Good for him to get the rounds in the bank as well. It's always that conundrum, really, isn't it, Glenn? You know, he might want to make a statement, try and get Van Poetsch out of there, but really, is it more valuable now with everything that's gone on to get the rounds?
I think most definitely to get the rounds. Van Poetsch, very hard to get the stoppage against him, so I think be content with trying to learn a few things and get the experience, and just let your shots go and practice.
Well, delighted to say as well, as part of our presentation team tonight, we will be hearing a little later on from Lucy Wildheart, who's got a mission in Malta next week, and also part of the team, as she was in Hamilton last week. We've got Hannah Rankin with us at the York Hall tonight. We'll be hearing from Hannah in a little while. She's got a big world title fight coming up on Fightzone as well. So overall, on with the action as well. We're shortly going to see the debut of Slavica Gagic. Fuad Hussain in action here as well, as is Anis Taj, Harry Mullins, Tommy Jacobs, and the main event, Lewis Isaacs against Dan Morley, which is a fabulous clash of the unbeatens as well. Both the same age, the exact same records, and they are going to give it all tonight in what is a Southern Area eliminator. But Glenn, McCallum is going to make his way to the interview position, but you were impressed with his performance?
I was impressed. You know, he was relaxed. He did what he had to do. Obviously, he's been out for a long time, so I think he's just glad to get back, and with someone like Van Poche, just get a few rounds under his belt.
Well, John, well done. I suppose the important thing, really, is getting the rounds.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I was meant to box someone else. I was meant to box a guy from Kazakhstan who failed the COVID test. So I'm very grateful for Lewis to jump in at like 3-4 days notice. So just to get the rounds is valuable. And I appreciate guys like Lewis, because without them, shows would get cancelled and stuff. So big thank you to Lewis.
Lewis doesn't come to cover up either, does he? He throws a few back.
That's why. I mean, they originally trying to give me someone else who had a losing record as well, but they never came to win. And I don't feel that you learn from bouts like that. No disrespect to them. Lewis always comes and gives it a go. I made a little bet with him earlier, say like let's have a proper fight here. I know you want to box in a few weeks and stuff, but please give me some good hard rounds. And I think he showed that tonight, that he did come to win. So massive thanks to Lewis and his team.
Now, you went to Russia, you took a gamble, you took on Tishenko. It didn't go your way, but I'm sure that's an experience that's done you a lot of good anyway, and you kept active. Was that a key thing? Yeah, I mean, it was a pleasure initially to share the ring with, like you said, an Olympic gold medalist and world amateur champion. I took the fight at 2 weeks' notice. I was actually locked down at the time, so I wasn't really training. I was a bit heavy, I was a bit fat. I was 102 kilos, and as you'll know yourself, to make the cruiserweight division, you have to be 90.7. So losing 12 kilos in 2 weeks and taking an opportunity like that, I mean, I wasn't fully prepared to win, but I believe that if I get 8 weeks' notice, I would love a return fight with Tishenko. I mean, he's a great fighter, and I wish him all the best in his career. It was a pleasure to share the ring with him and to travel to basically Siberia and the Ural Mountains in Russia. So, and it was a great experience. I loved it. We got treated with a lot of respect in Russia as well. So, if anything, it's probably my favourite place to fight now. So, I'd love to go back there and fight again. So what's the future for you? You know, you're 33, you're fighting in the cruiserweight division now.
Yeah.
A, is that where you're staying? And secondly, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm definitely staying at cruiserweight now. I struggle to make the weight now, so I'm a full-fledged cruiserweight. I just want as many titles as possible. I want to take opportunities and box great champions like Evgeny Tishenko. Try and test myself and see how good I am for personal goals. I would love nothing more to win a WBO belt like what Tishenko beat me for. So if I get the opportunity again, I'll definitely grab it with both hands.
Well done tonight.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
So fight number one out of the way, and a good return for John McCallum. Speaks very well, Glenn, as well. Very just the once against the debutant Slavica Gagic. Serbian sledgehammer. Not bad, that, Glenn. 27.
Let's see if he can live up to that name.
Well, does possess power. Very interesting fella. 27-year-old, originally from Serbia. Moved over to the UK as a 5-year-old. And the debut has just been held up a wee bit. Had to finish his dissertation for his degree a month ago. That in biomedicine. Very bright fella, wearing the black shorts, pink trim.
A degree in biomedicine. What is he doing in the boxing ring?
Well, he loves it.
I love the biomedicine as well, but...
Well, it's going to make for an interesting chat, the pair of you, then, afterwards.
100%.
He's obviously brought a bit of a following with him here tonight as well. It was a good entrance. Serbian music, very dramatic, proper battle cry, a tune as he entered the ring. Good uppercut there. Stuck in a very nice uppercut in the corner.
Sambou is so far pretty negative. Watching out of the southpaw stance from the Senegal. Matar Senegal. And it's Gagic who's on the front foot. Obviously, nerves will play their part in his debut.
It's always interesting. We see, well, plenty of debutants on Fight Zone as well. Of course, it is the home of the rising stars, the stars of the future, the prospects. And again, eagerness can often be such a problem for those making that professional ring walk for the first time. But so far, so calm, really, from Gagic.
Yeah, Sambou warming up to it a little bit. He's starting to start throwing some shots. Maybe just growing in confidence a little bit. Now he's tasted what Gagic has, but a little stumble there.
I think he just got his feet tangled with the Toblerones. It certainly wasn't a shot that did the damage. He's swinging in there now as well, isn't he, Matar Sambou? It's livening up quite nicely.
Yeah, it's a good opening round. Gagic having to fight a little bit as Sambou lets his shots go.
So his trainer Josh Burnham, what would you be saying, Glenn, if you had your trainer's head on now? He's just had his first round as a pro.
I'd say, you know, stay on the offensive, keep pushing forward, stay on the front foot. You know, just keep putting your shots together, try and throw your punches in combinations, and just, you know, the main thing he's got to do in this sort of fight is be the boss. And he certainly was in the opening round, as you can see here. Some of the good action. Started to warm up towards the end, and Sambou just starting to let a few more punches come. That suited Gagic, who then started letting his shots go.
Second out, round 2.
So the second round of a scheduled 4-rounder. Gagic, I think, wanted to go straight into a 6-rounder. But 4 it is. And again, the supporters still filing into York Court. Plenty of action still to come here on Fight Zone, of course. Isaacs against Morley, top of the bill. 2 cracking young prospects going head-to-head, putting it all on the line, both 6-0 at the moment. Well, Gagic has pretty much got out of the way of just about everything that Sambou has thrown in this second round. Decent work on the inside as well from Gagic.
Yeah, competitive fight though. Sambou looking to get his shots off as well. Gagic warming into this. It's a good defense from Gagic in close.
Well, Gagic, for his debut, is going in against a guy with ambition. Great uppercuts, though, there in the corner. And that's been, I think, the eye-catching shot from Gagic.
I was impressed with those 2 uppercuts there. He was nice and relaxed. You know, he waited, find his opener through the middle, and then just chip them shots up. Hurtful punches from Gagic.
But it isn't a gimme as a debut, is it, Glenn? Far from it.
No, it's a competitive debut, but, you know, I think at 27 years of age, that's the sort of thing he needs.
Again, he's putting plenty in these punches now, Gagic, when he is letting the hands go.
Yep, nice combination there from Gagic. Gagic looks quite experienced. You know, this is just his debut. Looks quite comfortable in there, not panicking. Quite happy to stay in the pocket and let his shots go and pick his punches.
Well, interesting, given what you've just said, that the fighters he likes to watch are Gennady Golovkin and Badou Jack. He reckons that they make it look easy. They make it look really loose and fluid, and like they're not even thinking. And I think that's obviously what he's trying to do in there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing that as well. You know, he's nice and relaxed in there. You know, he's obviously done lots of sparring for this fight and lots of preparation. But he's comfortable, you know, staying in range. You know, just looking to pick with little shots and then all of a sudden put nice, tasty little uppercut in there. So already he's got the technique of mixing up the power, which is good. You can't land every punch with full force in there. You've got to be able to relax, throw some little shots, and then all of a sudden up the tempo, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Gagic on the front foot again. Just looking for the opening. So Matar, Sambou, 1 win, 2 defeats. He has posed the odd problem for Gagic. Gets caught there by a right hand on the way in.
Well, it's important for Gagic to keep throwing those punches, not to go to sleep a little bit and allow Sambou into the fight.
So this is really where he wants his man to be, Gagic. He likes to manoeuvre them to the corner, and then the work up close seems to be his kind of style. Those cheeky uppercuts then, when he can find the space.
To see him just use body shots a little bit more. He's head hunting all the time. He's having some success to the head.
Well, I think
a big target around the body that is missing.
Sambou's in trouble now, though. He's taken a couple very flush, good right hand from Gagic, found the spot, and I think really he's just hanging on a little bit there. The leg's a little bit wobbly as well. Matar, Sambou, and again Gagic going to work, and I think he fancies a stoppage here. He's warm to the task in this third round. Big wild swing from Sambou, but it's fairly clinical stuff from Gagic.
Yeah, good work rate from Gagic. Keeping the pace nice and high. Now he's back to the jab, and then another good uppercut. Worked well from that punch.
He catches him again with the right hand. The final knockings of round 3. The Serbian sledgehammer certainly does carry a bit of power, no doubt about that. Another good round then for Slavica Gagic. He's got many supporters in the balcony here at York Hall, and part of our team here on Fight Zone, Anthony $1 Million Crawler. Have you been impressed with what you're watching?
Yeah, I think it's been a very interesting debut. I think earlier on, I think Glenn mentioned how he wanted to do 6 rounds. You know, on a debut at 27, he looked to get a move on, but the difference throughout the fight, the right uppercut's been lovely at times from Gagic, and it's an ambitious debut as well. As Sambou, like, he was one-on-one, wasn't it? It wasn't, you know, your typical opponent who's going to come to survive. Sambou's come with aspirations, you know, of his own. Gagic, maybe the pace is just slowing down. He's probably overexerted himself at times. Relaxes that a little bit more. I'd like to see him relax a little bit more, not be going too square on after a few shots. But all in all, he's picked some lovely shots out.
10 seconds.
We'll be hearing plenty more from Anthony Crawler throughout the night. But this is the 4th and final round. What has, to this point, been a good debut from Slavica Gagic from just up the road in Islington. And again, that right uppercut, well, he doubles it, triples it.
He does like that punch, and it's working very well, but it would be good if he just mixed it up with some body shots as well.
A little slip again from Sambou.
Good pressure from Gagic. Work rate's good. Obviously trying long and hard for this.
And again, like every debutant, he's got to deal with the nervous energy, if you like. It'll feel like he's probably done 12 rounds after this one with everything that he's had to deal with. You know, again, these fighters, they look after the tickets and everything else that goes on with a fight and getting it all out of the way. It's probably a relief when they finally get in the ring and just concentrate on the fighting.
It certainly is, especially when, you know, these fighters have been out of the ring for so long. You know, they're not used to that. Fighters, you know, are used to being in the ring regular and used to performing regular, and all of a sudden when there's a big delay and, you know, something like we've never seen before, then it's difficult, it's tough. Sambou put up some resistance in this fight. You know, he's always made it competitive, but it's been a good work rate from Gagic.
Well, it's just a wild swing there, as I think tiredness is taking its toll a little bit on Gagic.
Well, he's done everything he's had to do in this fight, Gagic. Put on a good performance. The uppercut being the standout punch in his arsenal. And for me, he's done enough in every round.
So it's a shutout on your card, Glenn.
It is, I think, you know, good performance from him in his debut.
Well, the debut is out of the way for Slavica Gagic, and overall a good one. He's won every round as far as Glenn McCrory is concerned. Matar Sambou certainly came to give it a go, came with ambition, but Gagic, the Serbian sledgehammer, will have the arm raised at the end of this contest. And then we will get another look at Fuad Hussain next. He takes on Dean Jones in a featherweight contest, but overall, yeah, the right uppercut certainly his favourite shot.
Well, he worked it well. You know, he was relaxed. It didn't look like it was his debut. He looked like he had more experience than that. But, you know, he went about his work well. Obviously, there's a lot more to do. It's very, very early days. So, you know, he needs to work on the jab, I'd say, and he needs to work on a few angles, switching the variety and work to the body a little bit more.
Well, Mark Bates, the scoring referee, has handed his verdict over to our MC for the night, so we can cross now to get the official result with Hussain.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Mark Bates scores the bout 40-36. And your winner, Slavica, the Siberian Sledgehammer Gagic.
So he's never really in doubt, and Anthony Crolla is back with us as well, Glenn. And Anthony, overall, how would you rate that performance?
Yeah, I think it was a very good debut. There's, like I said, there's a lot to learn. I agree, you know, echoing what Glenn said. But I'd like to have seen him, you know, gone to the body a little bit more, but a little bit of over-eagerness, you know, for a debut. But all in all, a good debut against a live opponent. A lot of positives to take from it and a lot to like about Gagic.
And again, it always makes you wonder, you know, a debutant, do they want to make a statement and blast someone out and around? And how much of a help would that have been, basically, for him?
I say a lot of the time, to blast someone out around at this stage of your career, and especially at his age, there's nothing other than probably boost the ego. You know, he was in with a live opponent there, southpaw as well, and I think, you know, he's ticked a lot of boxes there in his debut, and there's a lot to improve on, but he makes those improvements. It'll be very exciting.
And Glenn, overall, then, you've seen a lot of debutants. Happy with his work?
I think so. I think, you know, he's got to be happy with his work. Obviously, big smiles. Winning there, you know, he went about his work well enough for a debut. Obviously, there's lots and lots of nerves at stake, and it's difficult. And you know, he's close to home. How did you find your debut, Anthony?
My debut, I was actually at the arena, the Manchester Arena, and I thought that what I was going to get on just before Joe Calzaghe. A lot of the fights ended up going the distance and ended up when the cleaners was in there and the few hundred tickets sold. So, no good, but it was good to get it out of the way. A lot of them, yeah.
Good to drop a few names in there as well. Well done, mate.
Slavica, you've got the debut out of the way. It's probably been delayed, like a lot of people have had to have the delays, of course. But how do you assess your performance tonight?
I mean, I'm happy I got out. I'm happy I got the win against a tough opponent. Could I've done better? Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of times I rushed. I had him going maybe 2, maybe 3 times, and I just jumped on him. And I can't do that moving forward. I need to calm down a bit. So we'll go back to the gym. I'm going to try working a few things, and we'll go from there, me and Josh.
I think you might be being a bit harsh on yourself, which is probably a good thing. You're being very self-critical, because our former world champions, Glenn McCoy, Anthony Crolla, were both quite pleased with the way you boxed tonight. They thought you did very well.
Oh, thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to have someone like that talking about me. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because it was everything that me and Josh worked on. Some stuff I did, but some stuff I feel like I let Josh down with certain things. I mean, he said he's happy, but he's been nice, you know.
Yeah, but Matar came with ambition. It wasn't a gimme for a debut by any stretch.
Yeah, but that's what we wanted. Originally, I think we had a different opponent as well. The whole point was we wanted someone that would come and try to take a crack at me properly. And Matar can't hit, and he's tough. I'll give it to him. I said to Josh before, I don't think I can get this guy out by hitting him to the head. That's why, end of the second, start of the third, I started just digging to the body. I felt like if they needed to slow him down, that's going to be the way, because he's got a rock hard head.
You've got a nice uppercut, though. That's your favourite punch, is it, the right uppercut?
Do you know what? He was just giving it to me. I'd love to say it's the jab, but not everyone say that.
Also, as well, because we were talking about you prior to the contest, Glenn he can't work out why a fella that's got a degree in biomedicine is doing this.
Do you know what? I literally, I finished the degree just a couple months before I turned over with Josh and Mo, and that's something I want to do for my future. I love boxing, but we know boxing isn't a lifetime sport. You know what I mean? Especially for someone about you know what? One of the guys, Newman, who's been boxing in a month, he said, nowadays you can box till you're 40 if you're fit and healthy. I said, not me. I don't think I've got the style for it.
Well, a very good debut, the Serbian sledgehammer. We'll look forward to seeing you again on Fightzone. Well done tonight.
Apparently you're Siberian here tonight, but fair enough. I'll take that.
Yeah, that's a long bus journey.
It's a very long bus journey.
Well done, Slavica.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I hear him chatting the noise, move too quick, can't stop for the talking. Just too sharp with the prize, white girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan, if you wanna touch my piece, who's talking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize, white girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan, if you wanna touch my piece, who's caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the.
You've got a very early morning flight. You're going to be on that flight to Malta.
Yes, we're flying out tomorrow and stay there for a week, fighting on Friday for the WBC International Featherweight title. So, yeah.
Now tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know you've had a few fights already. You're very much based in Essex now, but you are originally from Sweden. So why did boxing come to you, or how did it all happen?
I've always done combat sports for many, many years, and when I turned about 20, I looked for another sort of combat sport. I got into boxing. I did that for 4 years as an amateur, then I turned pro. I've gotten options to move to England and train full-time, so I did that, and here I am. I've had 8 fights and it's gone really good so far, so obviously now we're just off to Malta as well.
And it's a time for you now to fly the flag for Sweden as well, because you know, obviously there have been some very notable fighters from your country, but maybe it's your time now.
Yes, it definitely is. I've worked very hard for a very long time now, so I feel like it's my turn coming, and yeah, I can't wait.
And tell us then just about next week. You're fighting, obviously, as I say, in Malta. You got a bit of a title on the line. What about your opponent? What do you know?
So, Enrelisa de Leon, she's good, she's coming forward. I expect her to give her best, and I want her to absolutely try to get me. So that way I will get my best potential out as well, and I will look better. As tough it is, as better it is for me. So, yeah, bring it on, baby.
Enjoying the action here tonight?
Yeah, it's good. Actually, it's the first time I'm in your course, so okay. I enjoy it. It's good.
Can you visualise yourself fighting here very soon?
Yeah. Give it to me and I'll do it.
Well, we'll enjoy your journey on Fight Zone, so we look forward to seeing you next week as well. Enjoy the rest of the action, and we look forward to seeing you.
Thank you very, very much.
Well, a couple of fights in this Fight Zone card here at York Hall, Bethnal Green in East London. Great to see the capital and boxing back here again. And the crowd really anticipating another few excellent contests. We've already seen John Mccallum, we've seen Slavica Gagic, who we just heard from as well. And next, Fuad Hussain, another interesting character, originally from Somalia. Goes by the moniker of the Pirate. He's in against Dean Jones. And of course, you're watching this on Fight Zone, free to air currently, but of course get your subscription in, $4.99, and you get all the action later on as well, when we welcome Anis Taj to the ring against Jay Muele. Harry Mullins takes on Rhys Taylor for the second time in his very young professional career. Tommy Jacobs, excellent amateur. He's in against the very seasoned Kevin McCauley. And then the main event, a Southern Area title eliminator, Lewis Isaacs from Islington, who takes on Dan Morley, both men unbeaten. So much in common, someone's O has to go. But it's on with the action. The fighters are ready, so we'll hand over to our MC, Hus Ragib.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is scheduled for 6 rounds of boxing in the super lightweight division. And making his way to the ring, the And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent making his way to the ring, Fuad, the Pirate Hussain. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 4 rounds of boxing in the super lightweight.
Well, we're about to get underway with our next contest. The two fighters are in the ring, but there just seems to be just a little bit of a question mark as to how many rounds we're actually going to be watching. Fuad Hussain against Dean Jones. Errol Johnson has just got over to the officials to find out what it is. I think he thinks it's a 6-rounder, whether it's a 4-rounder in the super lightweight division, Glenn. So it's, well, we've seen this kind of situation before. I'm sure it'll be resolved very shortly.
We certainly have. It wouldn't be boxing if there wasn't a little bit of controversy. But I think it'll all be sorted in a moment, and we'll get on with the show.
Well, I think word has reached our MC, so over to Huss.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 6 rounds of boxing in the super lightweight division. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. The stewards in charge, Richard Barber, Ben Harmsworth, and Mickey Collier. The inspectors ringside, Bren Frost and John Camp. Timekeeper at the bell, Brett Bowles. And the third man inside the ring in charge of the action, Chaz Coakley. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner, he is wearing the black and blue, his official weight of 134 pounds and 7 ounces, his professional record of 29 fights with 1 win, hailing from Telford, Shropshire, United Kingdom, Dean Jones! And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the pink and blue. His official weight of 138 pounds and 2 ounces. He is currently undefeated in his campaign with 7 wins, hailing from West London, United Kingdom. Fuad, the Pirate Hussain!
So this is a 6-rounder, a super lightweight contest. Fuad Hussain, who's got great support inside the York Hall tonight. He's wearing the gladiator-style shorts, claret and blue, which is very apt for the part of the world we're in. We're not too far from West Ham, of course, but a West Londoner, the Pirate, as Hussain is known, against Dean Jones, wearing the black shorts with blue trim from Telford. This is 30th contest tonight. Jones, who comes out of the blocks quickly. He's only 1 win to his name, 28 defeats. He's durable, though. He's only been stopped once, so could be a test for Hussain. in his 8th professional contest tonight. All 7 wins so far for him. They've all gone the distance.
Well, often when you're starting a career and you're fighting the journeyman types, it's difficult to get them out of the way. When you start to get competitive fights, then you start to realize, you know, you can punch a little bit more and you get the stoppages. And that's exactly what Fuad Hussain will be looking to do.
Well, Jones, a tough operator. Hussain has just been a little bit wary, I think, of Jones, who is aggressive.
Well, he knows what he's doing in there, Dean Jones. Plenty of experience. And he's coming to make a fight of it.
Decent right hand from Jones as well. Little nod of the head from Hussain. Recognition for that. And Jones, again, isn't one of those away fighters that's going to come and just tuck up. He's certainly given it a go in the early stages anyway.
Well, I think that's good for Hussain. That's the sort of opponent he wants. He wants somebody that's competitive, that's going to take the fight to him a little bit. That's how you learn.
He's certainly shifted a few tickets as well, hasn't he, Hussain?
Yeah, he has his support here.
Certainly hasn't had it all his own way in this opening round.
No, he hasn't. He's done the better work, though, in a good opening round.
Well, the Pirate has his own clothing range. Hannah Rankin, part of our team tonight. We'll be hearing a lot of Hannah later on. She was telling me all about the clothing range of Fuad Hussain. Likes to have the fancy kit. Dean Jones with Errol Johnson in the corner. Errol Johnson, Black Country Boxing, one of the busiest trainer managers knocking around. Got three fighters tonight.
Yeah, there's barely a fight show that we've ever been to that Errol's not at. Big stable of fighters. Good left hook from Jones.
Again, Jones is aggressive, but Hussain with some clever work.
Yeah, Hussain getting that right hand up now. Been caught with that left hook from Jones a little bit, but now he's getting the hand up. He's expecting it.
That is certainly livening the crowd up here. Inside York Hall. There's again Jones on the front foot.
He just looks at the corner. determined, coming forward, letting his shots go. Not having a great deal of success, but certainly in there throwing punches.
Well, the Fuad chants go up again as they're trying to urge their man on. He's doing well off the ropes.
Well, Hussein's boxing nice on the back foot. You know, he's up against the ropes, but he's still coming out with some good combinations.
And a good eye-catching flurry there. Again, just warmed to the task a wee bit now, hasn't he?
Yeah, the crowd enjoying his work. And he's quite content just to stay in range, which is good to see. He's not panicking at all. Nice head movement from Hussain.
Again, works to head and body, closing stages of the second round. Glenn McCrory's card has Hussain 2 rounds up as we reach that. I was going to say the halfway stage, but of course it's a 6th rounder now. Anthony Crolla, you have been watching that as well alongside us. What do you make of it?
Enjoying it, really enjoying it. Very lively fight. I thought that Jones started really well. First round was very close, but I think, you know, the skills certainly lie with Hussain, and I think he boxed a lot better in that second round, settled down. I think it was a little bit frantic the first round. But Jones and that Jim Rivero-Johnson, they're absolutely flying at the minute. And you can see he's come here to when he's giving this a right go, looking to get the right hand over fast and whacking the body. But Hussein's got some really nice skills, and he backed Jones up a little bit in that fight. And there, just like him to hit his spaces a little bit better, rather than arms and gloves, but it was a much better second round from Hussain.
Well, his only win so far, Dean Jones, was against Barry McCrory, back in January 2019. But he does certainly arrive here tonight with a lot of ambition, Dean Jones. He boxed just a couple of weeks ago as well. He was in against Charles Frankham. And last year, he was in against a real talent that you'll know all about, Anthony, as well, from your part of the world, Aqib Fiaz. So he's been in with some real talent, Dean Jones. And again, just catches Hussain with a good right hand. There's plenty that needs to keep Hussein's attention, really, coming from Jones.
The judge knows exactly what he's doing in there. There's some good stuff he's done. Nice right hand there. You know, his defense is good. And, you know, he's making Hussain fight in there, and that's what you want as you progress through the ranks. You know, as your caliber of opponent gets better, you need to be ready for that.
Well, Hussain has yet to box anybody with anything like a winning record. And Dean Jones would fit it into the category, but again, really putting it on him, trying to put it on him, marching forward. And I'm sure if we speak to Hussain afterwards, if he's the man that has the arm raised, he'll tell us that he's probably learned more from this fight than all the others put together.
Well, Jones, certainly better than his record suggests, doesn't he? So if he's thought he's going to have an easy night, Hussain, he's mistaken. But I'm sure the camp know exactly what Jones is like, and that's probably why they picked him, to get some good rounds.
Well, late replacement, though. It wasn't the original opponent for Hussain. As is such the way, of course, these very crazy times we're living in as well. Boxing cards often prone to change. Again, good skills off the ropes from Hussain. Good movement.
Nice left hand from Hussain. It was good to see Dean Jones has come for a fight. Present though, he's been outsmarted and outboxed by Fuad Hussain.
Well, the crowd on their feet all around this venue now, all around the balcony as Hussain's followers, buoyed by the action at the end of that round. As I like to do this very often, Glenn, I like to get your thoughts. What's being said in that corner there now? What would you say if you were in the Hussain corner?
Well, I'd be telling him to get himself off the ropes a little bit more, take the center of the ring, just control the fight with a little bit more authority behind his jab. He's doing some good work, you know, he's winning the rounds, but you know, I think he needs to look more confident and look like, you know, he's in control in there a little bit more than he is.
Robert Lloyd, the man giving the instruction in that corner. And again, remember, $4.99, get your subscription in now if you're watching this on Fight Zone or Seconds Out. Plenty more action to come after this.
Seconds Out.
But you will need to subscribe to Fight Zone, of course, your new home of UK boxing. Just using that jab to good effect now, Hussain, to head and body.
Well, this fight, Dom, was originally scheduled for a 4-rounder, but I'm sure that Hussain wanted a 6. His last few fights have all been at 6 rounds, and your fights don't want to drop back into a lower level, do they? So I'm sure, you know, he was the one that pushed, you know, at late notice to try and get that 6 rounds.
Well, a couple of good right hands from Hussain as well. The cheers go up when he lands, and that's a slip. Ches Coakley, the referee, acknowledges the fact. Decent shot to the body from Jones. Still in there, still throwing back, still giving Hussain plenty to think about. Good left hand from Hussain. Again, this is good work from him.
Yeah, he's starting to plant his feet a little bit now, get a bit more power into those shots. Good work rate from Hussain.
Well, Dean Jones still following him around the ring. A very tough operator. The 32-year-old from Telford, who's been warned about the head there, just went in a little bit, according to the referee.
Yeah, but Jones is doing what he's been paid for. He's making Hussain work and work hard. Catches him with a right hand there in the clinch.
Well, another good end to that round, and he's got a real spring in his step as he races across the ring. And I think you're going to tell me, Glenn, that you've got it all 4 rounds for Hussain, but doesn't quite tell the story of how competitive it is.
No, it doesn't. You know, I mean, he's winning them. He's doing the better and the cleaner work throughout the round. But, you know, he's being pushed. Jones, very competitive, working hard, you know, doing his job in there, trying to test you know, the young Hussain, and you know, he's doing that. So Hussain, you know, having to fight hard, but you know, he's doing that. He's answering the questions.
As you say, Jones, well,
Corners, 10 seconds.
a great example of an away fighter earning his dough.
Seconds out, round 5.
Very much so. Hard way to earn a living.
Well, plenty more to come on this promotion tonight. It's a Mo Pryor, Alfie Warren promotion from York Hall, live of course on Fight Zone. We're moving around the country. Some big fight nights to come, both in the UK and overseas. It's Malta next week. We heard from Lucy Wildheart earlier. We'll be back here in a couple of weeks, back here at York Hall. And Sheffield as well before the month is out, of course. Dave Allen returns, and that's a big shot lands. And again, the crowds and shouts go up from the balcony here as Hussain lets the hands go. Now there's a real eagerness about his work, and Jones has to retreat on the back foot as Hussain once again lets the hands go. Good flurry, Glenn.
Very good flurry. Good to see him, that he recognised he hurt his man and then went straight to work, continued throwing punches. And that was a good spell in the fight for Fuad Hussain. Very dominant in this round so far.
Just catches a right hand on the way in, but it seems to spur him on a bit. Definitely planting the feet a little bit more when he is letting the hands go.
It's a packed house here at the York Hall, standing room only at the back.
There isn't a bad seat in the house, is there? You're so close to the action here, it's incredible.
No, a fantastic venue for boxing. And that's why it's so popular. You know, the fighters love it here.
Well, low blow there from Jones, and, well, Hussain goes to ground. The referee ushers Jones away. Well, Hussain takes a breather and is okay to carry on. Jones acknowledges the low blow. And on we go. So it's been a really good scrap, this contest between Fuad Hussain and Dean Jones. Just a little bit of chat in the ring between the two men there as well, as it got a little bit acrimonious, but good value here, Anthony.
And we've said it there, but Dean Jones, so much better than his record suggests. But Fuad Hussain's got some lovely skills. I'd just like to see him hold his feet a little bit more. I know that's not part of his game, it's hit and not get hit, but just sit down on his shots a little bit more. He's had the reaction now 1 or twice out of Dean Jones, and I just think, be a bit smarter, hit spaces, and I don't know if you would have got Dean Jones out of there. He's so tough, but he's gone low there, as you can see. But no, tough man, Dean Jones, and no, I think it's a very valuable fight. You look at this fight on paper, and it just looks straight away you'd go 60-50 on a possible stoppage. But it's real. That's not been the case. It's been a great learning fight for Hussain as well. This.
Seconds out, 6th and final round.
Thank you, Anthony $1 Million Crawler, part of the Fight Zone team once again, and a busy man. with his own fighters, of course. James, who we've seen on Fight Zone. James Moorcroft, we've also seen on Fight Zone. Rhiannon Dixon also will be in action very, very soon. And then, of course, he's still working with Joe Gallagher in the stable in Bolton. Jones, as he has done in this contest, still on the front foot.
Hussain will be happy that he's getting competitive rounds in the bag. You know, he's winning the rounds for me, but you know, he's been made to work in all of these rounds. Hasn't had his own way.
Again, good movement from Hussain. Gets in and out of danger. Couple of wild swings from Jones.
Little walkabout for Dean Jones. And back to work. Pushing Hussain against the ropes. Letting his shots go.
Well, the final minute of this 6-rounder, and he is a real credit, isn't he, Dean Jones? Still in there, still slinging. It's Hussain.
Yeah, Dean Jones made a really good fight of this. Certainly give Hussain something to think about in every round.
Jones now just using the ring. The final stages of this contest. He will hear the final bell. Be ready to fight again whenever he gets that call. For Hussain, well, it's been a big learning fight for him. He's shown plenty of skills in this fight. Shown what he's all about, really. And again, is he going to finish with a flurry again? Lets those hands go at the final bell. A very good contest. And Glenn, no doubt in your mind, you're seeing it as shutout, but again, we have to reiterate that every round was competitive.
Every round was competitive, and I've got to say, you know, congratulations to Dean Jones, coming at late notice and made a real fight of it. And Fuad Hussain, you know, obviously it's difficult when your opponent changes, you know, when the rounds change, when, you know, that's the fight game. Things are never as they were planned, but you know, he's coped with that, and that's all very much part of the learning experience. Finished with a good flurry. Looked good, looked strong, and learned a lot.
Well, Hussain acknowledges his supporters in the crowd here, and the balcony is full all around us here at York Hall. In fact, everywhere is full now. Great to see. And I suppose we've been fortunate, really, Glenn, haven't we, with Fight Zone? We've had the Fight Zone Arena in Sheffield, so we've been back in the swing of things at live events with fans for a while now, but it isn't the norm. It hasn't been anywhere else, and now venues like this, again, we can have boxing in. So
exactly, we've been back for a couple of months, which has been great, but you know, this regular shows, you know, it's good to be back.
Let's get the official verdict of this one with our MC, Hussain.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Chas Coakley scores it 58-56. And your winner, Fuad the Pirate Hussain!
Well, 58-56, Glenn. It's a closer fight than you had it scored, but I think that's acknowledgement really for Dean Jones's efforts.
Yeah, very much so. Do you know, I mean, he did work hard, he did push the fight. I don't agree with that. I don't think he was winning rounds, Dean Jones. He was pushing, and you know, but that's a little credit for the job that he did on short notice. So another good win for Fuad Hussain, and he continues to improve.
Well, Anthony Crawley, you watched that as well, and again I think you were impressed with the work rate of Dean Jones and what he gave in there. But Fuad Hussain, again, if you're looking at his performance, we're going to hear from him in a minute. How do you assess it? What more do you want to see from him?
I think next time out, or as we go on, I'd like to see him settle down a little bit. I liked it when he slowed the pace a little bit, and I would have loved to have seen him, you know, just jab downstairs a little bit. He'd done it at time, and every time he'd done it, he had success. But he just didn't quite do it enough, you know, throw the jab downstairs a little bit. I know we're talking, but a little Floyd Mayweather rest away, he'd stab downstairs and make the opponent think about coming in. A great learning fight.
I think also, Anthony, he hasn't got to be allowed himself to be pushed back against the ropes. I think he's got to try and
take centre of the ring a little bit.
Take the centre of the ring, control the fight at his pace with this quality of opposition. That's how he needs to do it. But you know, he's learned a lot in there, and I'm sure he's glad to get some competitive rounds.
Definitely a great learning fight.
I'll tell you what as well, he's really milking the crowd. I think he knows everyone in here. He's walking around, he's fist bumping just about everybody. He's got a great fan base, there's no doubt about that. So he's got his arm raised for the 8th time, 8 fights, 8 wins, all via way of points. But if there is a bit to work on, he's certainly got a lot of the basics covered, certainly as far as marketability and that fan base as well. And he's got that old clothing range as well, so you can have a word with him about kitting you out, Glenn.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Well, I met him and talked to him, and he came over for a photograph earlier on this evening. You know, thoroughly nice young man. Obviously, very, very popular with the crowds, and you know, building up a good fan base, and that's what it's all about. You know, in boxing, you know, it's not just winning fights; it's also selling tickets. It's also becoming a personality, and that's what this young man is. And I think, you know, he'll sell tickets, and you know, he'll go on to good things. We'll see him in some good fights.
Well, Fuad, don't worry, you look lovely, don't worry. Now, give us your own assessment of that performance. He's a tough man, Dean Jones.
Listen, I made it such hard night's work, but when you're coming off 2 years layoff, I went up to fucking 75 kilos, sorry for my language, 75 kilo for a super bantam. I was enjoying life. Lockdown got the better of me, but listen, first one out, at lightweight, I'm a super bantam. He's tough as old boots, mate, I'll tell you that. He's not a joke. And I still hurt him with that right hand. Did you see that? Right hand over the top. And I can do that to any super bantam at my level, at novice level. Listen, we're growing. I ain't got a big promoter. I'm trained and managed by Rob Lloyd-Taylor. You know Rob Lloyd-Taylor? He won Prizefighter. The man come in and he's passing on the knowledge. He's always told me, I'll taught you everything you know and not everything that I know. I'm going to soak up all that knowledge. We're going to get back. We're going to fight another 3 times this year, and your boy is coming. Watch out, all the big promoters. Your boy is coming. There's only one pirate. I brought a whole crowd today, and it's not even our show. But listen, we do what we do, man. How do you think it was?
Well, I just wanted your thoughts on this, because I reckon you probably learnt more from that fight than you have in your previous 7.
100%, 100%. And you know what? I take it with all blessings. I'm glad I got the rounds in. I'm glad I had a tough opponent, because I'm going to get nights like them. It's not always easy night work. You're going to get tough, hard fights like them. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
A fair bit of praise from Anthony Crawler and Glenn McCrory as well, 2 world champions.
I saw him walk down. I jumped on a picture the first time I see him. Absolute legends. I'm so honoured to have them talk about me. And you know what? Bigger and better things to come. Trust me. Glenn, don't worry about it.
You've got a lot going on. You sell a lot of tickets. Yeah. You've got your clothing range. You like to look good. You like to talk.
Listen, I'm the most entertaining fighter in and out of the ring at my level. I come out in a pirate boat. Who's confident enough to come out in a pirate boat? Pink shorts, big crowd. I would have had a rapper come out to me. I would have done it all. But listen, let's get COVID out of the way. Let's get a few fights. 2022, we're coming bigger and better things. Trust me.
I think you need to go and do a few rounds of pads.
Listen, I've got energy now. I mean, after 6 hard rounds, I still got energy now. I'm ready to go. That's why I'm raring to go. I'm angry at myself for not leaving everything in there. But you know what? That amount of time I had off showed, and that's never going to happen again. Even though it weren't my fault, it was the pandemic. But listen, I hope nothing like that happens again. I'll breathe, eat, sleep, boxing. And that's it. Listen, I want to give a big shout out to Pristine Watches London, the best jewelers and watch traders in the company. They sponsor me. They've been with my career for all my life. Ever since I started boxing, they've always helped me. And listen, bigger and better things.
We're going to enjoy the ride. Well done tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Well, of course, we've had John McCallum in action against Lewis van Poche, Slavica Gagic making his debut against Matar Sambou, and then Fuad Hussain, the very lively character that is Fuad Hussain, has just had his arm raised after a really good battle with the very, very tough Dean Jones. But of course, all you got to do is subscribe to Fight Zone. There's plenty still to come on this card. If you've been watching us via SecondsOut.com, well, thank you for the company. You know what to do. FightZone.uk for the rest of the action. We've got 6 unbeaten fighters in action. They want to keep the O in that column, of course. Anis Taj, big cruiserweight. Plenty of talent, plenty of power in those fists. Tommy Jacobs, that brilliant amateur. He takes to the ring tonight. And, of course, Harry Mullins. We saw his debut on Fight Zone. He is in again. And then the main event, the 2 unbeaten fighters, Lewis Isaacs against Dan Morley. Both 6-0 for a Southern Area title eliminator. That's your Fight Zone card here at York Hall, Bethnal Green. Join us on Fight Zone.